very, very nice to be with you all today. So very nice to meet all of you virtually. I'm Antoine. I'm the Chief Investment Officer at Green Angel Ventures, and we are a specialist UK-based VC investor focusing exclusively on climate innovation with more than 50 portfolio companies and 4 exits under our belt. As CIO, my role is to manage and develop our fund activity, in particular the EIS Climate Change Fund that I'm going to talk about. And before joining early stage climate tech, which was already 10 years ago, I worked for more than 15 years in public equities. So I bring this institutional investment experience to what we do at Green Angel Ventures. So today my aim is to enable you to answer 2 questions. Why should I invest in climate tech? And why should I trust Green Angel Ventures to run this fund? So to fix climate change, we need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to 0 as quickly as possible. You all know that. And to do that, we need to change how we live our daily lives, from the way we heat our houses to how we consume food. But I'm not here to ask you to do that. I'm here to explain why this transition to a net zero economy represents one of the most exciting investment opportunities around. So this transition provides an almost infinite array of investment opportunities across key sectors of the global economy. That's obviously the energy sector, but also other key sectors like industry, transport, the built environment, and agriculture. And so investing in climate solutions is about finding and backing the innovative companies in these sectors that will power the next industrial revolution. And clearly, this is a very vast set of opportunities with the potential to unlock trillions in economic value. But importantly, and that's a very important message, this is not about green products with a premium price tag. What we are looking for is companies developing solutions that are not only better for the planet, but also superior in performance, efficiency, and cost effectiveness. So the goal is climate positive technologies that outperform traditional alternatives. And this is the condition for these investments to thrive. And if they thrive, they will both make a positive impact and deliver great returns to investors. So this is what our climate change fund does. And whatever the economic and political uncertainties, the fact of the matter is that climate change is not going away. In fact, it's only getting worse. And so if I can say so, we are riding a wave which will only get bigger and bigger in the next 10 to 20 years. So deploying capital in early stage climate tech is a great way of diversifying an investment portfolio and exposing it to a positive megatrend. Our climate change fund is an award-winning EIS fund. It's an evergreen fund, 100% focused on UK early-stage companies tackling climate change. The objective of the fund is to make a great financial return as well as a positive environmental impact. The aim is to realize 3 times, to return 3 times on the money invested by the fund, and to realize exits over a 5 to 10 years period. Each round of the fund gets invested, deployed into 10 to 15 different companies within 12 months. And we balance the risk and reward by creating a portfolio that is diversified across sectors and includes both new promising startups as well as high growth companies which are more advanced within our existing portfolio. So and no more than 15% of the fund will be invested in any one company. This is a genuine climate impact fund, and we were very proud that we were the first EIS fund to carry the FCA's new Sustainability Impact label last year in 2024. The fund's sustainability objective is to enable a measurable long-term reduction in the atmosphere's greenhouse gas concentration. And we invest in companies where financial success goes hand in hand with a positive environmental impact. So it's important to say that our strategy does not include making compromises on the financial risk return. Our impact assessment methodology has been developed and is implemented in-house, but we are a member of Project Frame, which is a global initiative aimed at strengthening and standardizing the methods used by climate impact VCs and PE investors. So what does the fund focus on? So everybody will tell you that they look for technologies with the potential for massive scale up, of course, but in our case, we focus on the biggest climate challenges, and which are also the biggest opportunities. That's the verticals which are on this slide: energy, transport, the built environment, circular industry, and agriculture. And in these verticals, we pick technologies and solutions based on our many years of experience in climate tech, based on what our extensive network of innovation hubs in the UK are producing, and based on what we know, about which markets are overcrowded, what business models work in the sector. This year, for the 2025 version of the fund, we are focusing on 3 technology areas, which are the horizontal lines here. Firstly, AI-powered solutions. So that's companies which are leveraging artificial intelligence to optimize processes, enhance efficiency, unlock new insights across sectors. And this is highly applicable to fixing the climate, but also to adapting to climate change. Secondly, material innovation, so developing cutting-edge materials that are both sustainable and superior in performance to fossil fuel-based alternatives. And thirdly, engineering breakthrough, where we support the development of innovative low-carbon technologies that offer significant cost advantages and scalability. And let me now give you maybe one example in each of these categories to illustrate all this. So firstly, Qflow, which is an AI-powered software as a service for the built environment. Qflow enables key players in the construction industry to monitor and cut waste, with obviously very big benefits, both economic and environmental. We first invested in Qflow in 2021. Since then, the company has grown its ARR by 15 times, commercial success in the UK and now in the US, and they've raised £9 million to date, with the valuation up roughly 2.3 times on the price we paid at this point. Second example, Kelpie, which is in the second category of material innovation. They are making seaweed-based packaging material for FMCG and food, and replacing plastic packaging. We first invested in 2022, and Kelpie's differentiation that they've achieved since then is that they've achieved a water barrier that lasts more than a year, and that's unique compared to other plastic alternatives. They have raised more than £6 million to date, and the valuation is currently up 1.7 times. And last example, which is one that Stefan just mentioned before, a common portfolio company with you, Death Cycle, which is recycling metals from e-waste using deep eutectic solvents with no burning or smelting, very, very low carbon emissions, and no toxic chemicals. We first invested in 2023. Since then, they've achieved 99% metal recovery for gold, and they've raised a £10 million Series A last year. And recently, they've announced a strategic investment from Mitsubishi, which is a very strong validation. So now moving to what's unique about Green Angel Ventures. Well, it's our combination of 3 things. Firstly, very rich, diverse, and established deal flow. We typically get 1,000 applications per year in UK climate innovation through our connections to founders, universities, and innovation hubs across the UK, for example, in London, Imperial College London. And this enables us to be extremely selective. Last year, we invested in only 7 new companies, so that's less than 1% of the opportunities that we've seen last year. Secondly, our unique domain expertise, and that's including our own experienced team, but also our network of more than 300 members. So these are experts with skin in the game that add a lot of value at the deal selection stage, but also post-investment because they take positions on the board of our portfolio companies. And finally, we have built a very strong track record, and I'm going to talk about that quickly now. So obviously, in terms of track record, it's important to keep in mind that we are investing for 5 to 10 years in these businesses. So it's still early days for most of our portfolio companies, but we are really proud to have already delivered 4 exits. Zygo, which was acquired by Schneider Electric in 2022, providing 3.5 times return to 29 investors, so quite quick. Time to Act, which IPO'd in 2024. Storm Harvester, for which we achieved a partial exit at a very good profit of roughly 5 times the price we paid in 2020. And that's still a lot of upside ahead of us, obviously. And Nature Metrics, partial exit at the time of their recent $25 million Series B, at 15 times the price paid by pre-seed investors. Finally, we are a fully authorized entity regulated by the FCA. We have a stable and experienced team, the same team actually running the same strategy since 2017. So alongside my team, the fund management team, and our investment committee, we have a deal origination team, a portfolio management function, and our investor community team in charge of our 300 specialist investors. And this is the team that enables Green Angel Ventures to source 1,000 opportunities each year, select the best opportunities to invest in, utilizing the feedback from our most experienced angel members, and support the company's post-investment. We've got 30 reps sitting on the board of our portfolio companies and helping them grow and ultimately deliver successful exits. So that's a pretty unique model, I think, which we believe is key to our success in this highly technical sector, which is climate tech. So we are currently fundraising for the 2025 summer 2025 edition of the Climate Change Fund, for which we already have 7 or 8 likely portfolio companies lined up for investment in this tax year. We still have capacity, but we are closing soon. So if you're interested, please speak to me quickly. Thank you very much, and happy to answer any questions.
Antoine, thank you very much for that presentation. I've got a few questions that have come in for you, if you don't mind me asking.
Of course.
Firstly, is it the case that investing in hard tech and hardware companies is harder / riskier, potentially leads to lower returns than investing in traditional VC type software?
Yeah, that's an important question. I mean, many people see climate hard tech as risky and capital intensive. But our experience, actually, our own experience says that this kind of belief is outdated. Looking across 22 active post-revenue portfolio companies in our portfolio, the average lifetime capital that they've raised is 7.9 million. Their annual revenue is 2.4 million. So that's a capital intensity ratio, if you want, of 3.2, if you do simple math. And when I look at hardware versus software in this group of 22 companies, actually the difference in capital intensity is only 30%. So it's not an order of magnitude different. We have hardware company examples where we have more than 5 or 10 million pounds of revenues after raising less than 10 million. So that is absolutely possible with strong margin and global reach. Failure rates in our portfolio are similar between hardware and software. And all this is because maybe the main point is early revenues don't require gigafactories or very big factories. Today's kind of playbook for hard tech is relatively asset light. You can have modular, scalable designs. You could have contract manufacturing. You could have co-funded pilots with corporates, off-take agreements. I mean, lots of ways to reduce capital intensity, and obviously lots of non-dilutive grants available from Innovate UK, etc. So our job is to turn these companies, to bring them to the next inflection point where they, then can scale with the right amount of capital, etc. And so with a specialist fund like ours, with our expert angel network, we carry deep due diligence, and we provide hands-on support to these companies. So we really think that with this setup, hard tech is not inherently too hard. And once traction is proven, it can be very capital efficient and deliver very strong growth and returns.
Thank you. In the presentation, you briefly mentioned about Green Angel being the first recipient of the Sustainability Impact Award in the EIS space. It's quite a big thing, isn't it? Do you want to just explain a little bit more in terms of what that means and why it's important for investors when they're looking for a sustainability focused fund?
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously a few years ago, it's not the case anymore, but a few years ago, ESG and green, was very, very fashionable. So lots of, fund managers started launching sustainable funds. And there was a little bit of a backlash. People were wondering, is there greenwashing going on, etc. And I think that's one of the reasons why the FCA decided to come up with a new regulatory regime, which is, called the SDR regime. And as part of this new regulatory regime, which started in 2024, they've designed 4 fund labels that fund managers who claim that they are doing something sustainable, need to adhere to or withdraw, right? So either you do it or you don't. And so obviously, because we've been doing that for forever, since 2017, we've decided to opt into this sustainability impact label. And in practice, what that means is we need to be very, very upfront, very clear, very transparent in what the objectives of the fund are. That's why, I had a slide about that. We want to make a measurable impact on greenhouse gas emissions through the fund investments. We need also to be very clear on the criteria that make one company make it and the other company doesn't make it into our portfolio, and what is it that we want to see before we invest in terms of climate impact. And also it's quite important to be able to report, and we do that. We report every year on the actual impact of our portfolio companies. So all this is kind of mandated by the FCA, and the funds which have that which abide by these rules have this label, and I think that tells you that these funds are proper, genuine climate impact investment.
Thanks very much, Antoine.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much. I feel like I've gone through a lot there, and we look forward to seeing you some point in the near future.